Good evening, everybody, and welcome to 3SBN with BL. And today we're going to talk about the NBA Finals and Kevin Durant. So, the Warriors have a 3-0 lead on the Cavs, and they look to win their second championship in 3 years. And for LeBron James, this is the first time in 10 years that he's behind 3-0 in the finals or really any playoff series. So, are the Warriors better than the 2007 Spurs? Certainly, it's not even close. Are this year's Cavs better than the 2007 Cavs? Certainly, it's not even close. That's just how great the Warriors are. So, anyways, let's get right to it. So, in game 1, the Warriors won by about 15-20. It was Kevin Durant. Same thing in game 2. Both games were very similar in Oracle. Kevin Durant scored well over 30 each game. He was spectacular. And Steph Curry played very well in game 2. So, let's go back to game 3. So, LeBron and Durant were dueling in game 3. It was a great duel. Kyrie Irving was playing great. J.R. Smith finally had it going. He didn't do anything in the first 2 games. Klay Thompson was great. He hit 6-7 threes. Thompson played great. Just improved every game throughout the series. And so, they have a 3-0 lead, but in the third quarter, Durant didn't play really. But in the fourth quarter, that's when he got going in. 14 points, hit some clutch threes, iced the game with free throws. And what Durant did makes him an all-time great. We already knew he was an all-time great, but I think that puts him in a club with Jordan, James, Kobe, of recent stars of what they did in the finals. And just really came up huge. And look, that's why they have a 3-0 lead. The play of Durant. Think about it. Great defense, check. Either shuts down Kevin Love or limits LeBron. Passing. Made some nice passes to Curry on some wide open threes. Thompson, Green made some great passes throughout the series. Long ball is doing great from downtown. Is getting to the line. Is really doing everything. Is looking like a complete player. Yeah, blocks, steals. Is doing everything. That's how great Kevin Durant is playing this series. It's unbelievable just the play of Kevin Durant. Even in game 1, I started thinking, hey, he could be finals MVP. And really, when he did that, what he did in game 3, that's when you knew, okay, he's going to be finals MVP. No doubt about it. If Steph Curry scores 50 and Durant has a bad game, maybe give it to Curry. If Klay Thompson scores 45, Durant has a bad game. Well, if Thompson would have played well in game 1, you could think about it, but look, it's going to be Durant, no question about it. Just what he has done in the first 3 games is just spectacular. Is one of the all-time great performances, in my opinion. Who else has played like that in the finals? Not many. Jordan, maybe. LeBron, some. But just off-the-charts performance by Durant. So, let's go back to the beginning of Durant's career and kind of how he got there. So, it's the June 2007, 10 years prior. Durant is working out for teams. People are saying, wow, he's pretty skinny. Let's let him lift some weights. Couldn't lift the bench press. I believe it's 185 they do at the combine. Was that weak? He was that weak. And with the first pick, the Portland Trailblazers took Greg Oden, one of the worst decisions in NBA history. The Sonics took Durant. And I'm sure when Durant got to Seattle, he's thinking, you know what? I have a dream to win this city a championship. That didn't happen. They lasted there only 1 year. And then moved to OKC. They were terrible at first, but they had great attendance. People in OKC were just thrilled to have a basketball team. Durant looked better, but the Thunder showed flashes of we're just way too young of a team to really play. And then, fast forward to 2010, he came in second MVP voting. That's when we started to know, okay, Durant's going to be a really good player. He may even be a great player in this league. He's a superstar. And they played against the defending champion, the Los Angeles Lakers. They lost, as what expected, but they took them to 6 games. Think about it. A young team playing against the defending champions who are about to win another championship, where a year earlier, they were 4-29, at one point. They were awful, and they were able to somewhat compete. Kobe Bryant, sort of in his prime, well on his way to winning another championship, and they're this young team. The next year, they got even better. They went on to make it to the conference finals against the Thunder, or against the Mavericks, and they lost. But still, Durant was getting much better. Westbrook was making huge strides. And you could have thought, wow, they're both only 22. They're going to be really good very soon for a very long time. And if you look at those two teams, were the Thunder more talented? Yes, they were. But the problem was they were much more inexperienced. They were younger. It was a big step for them. They'd never been that far before. They just needed more experience, while the Mavericks have been playing at a high level for so many years, have had a huge amount of playoff experience. So, the next year, and this is 2012, Durant's in the finals, and what Kevin Durant does in that series, he plays great in that series. He plays great. And Durant, the Thunder had a chance to win. I mean, they lost in 5, but the games were closer than you would have thought, and when he lost that championship and the Thunder, people will have thought, wow, they'll be back so many times. I mean, think how young those guys are. They took another step forward. They're going to win multiple championships by the middle of the decade. They'll be the next dynasty. They'll be so great. This is just the beginning. Kevin Durant, little did he know at the time, I'm sure when he lost, he was devastated. You could see it. He's devastated. He played so great, played so hard, just kept getting better and better. And they thought this was going to be the greatest moment. Soon they would be champions. And I'm sure Durant was like, I want a championship here next year. I'll win one next year. And in some ways, no one could have known at the time, but that was starting to become the beginning of the end. Right there. At that moment. It was starting to become the beginning of the end. How? They're a young team. They're so young. They just lost in the finals. Why do you think this is going to be it for them? Why is this as high as they ever peak? Well, let's move on. So, anyways, the next year Durant was great once again. And they're playing the Rockets. They're the 1 seed. They're ready to go. Highly anticipated Heat matchup. That was when the Heat were at the height of their powers. Would win 66 games. And then Patrick Beverley, hustle play, dives into Westbrook's knee. He's out for the series. Now all of a sudden, it's just Durant, which that would kind of go on the next year or so. And they were just overmatched against a not very good Grizzlies team. That was their year. Oh, and by the way, they also used to have James Harden. He left too. He was traded to the Rockets since the ownership was not willing to pay the luxury tax. They weren't willing to pay the luxury tax. That might have been the first warning sign. And what happened in 2013? That was another warning sign. And 14, Westbrook's hurt for half of the year, and that's when Durant really takes his game to another level. He wins the MVP. The last 3 months of the season, I think he averaged 35 points a game. I mean, he played like an all-time great. That's how great Durant was. He finally won MVP after always finishing in second. So many times, man. And then he got it going. They made it to the playoffs, but they were injured. Ibaka, I think, was injured. Westbrook was definitely limited after playing only half of the season. And they had their struggles against the Grizzlies in the first round. Had to take them to 7. Saw earlier today, they had to come back from a 3-2 deficit. And then the Clippers. Now, that was a great series. The Clippers should have beat them. I mean, yes, the Thunder should have theoretically had a 3-1 lead. But the Clippers, they should have won Game 5 for sure. and they should have won Game 6. That was the Clippers' year as well. And they won. And they went on to the conference finals, and they lost. Now, in 2014, it was definitely a lot more devastating than it was in 2011. This is now 3 years later, 3 full years have gone by, and they lost. And they lost. And that was before the Warriors were the Warriors. You thought, okay, the Spurs are going to decline. We didn't see the Warriors coming. And you're starting to think, okay, this is their time now. This is their time. And they lost. And okay, it's the beginning of the year, 14-15, who's going to be NBA champions? Warriors, we didn't know it yet. The Cavs, we thought, maybe they're not quite ready yet. So you thought, the Thunder, right? It's going to be the Thunder. Kevin Durant breaks his foot. Okay? For the first time in his career, has an injury. And now, the Thunder, they missed the playoffs. Russell Westbrook, that was a second warning sign. That's when we started to see Russell Westbrook really become Russell Westbrook that he is today. He was carrying the team. He was putting up triple doubles constantly. That was the first we saw of Russell Westbrook when Durant was out. And even when Durant played, he played pretty well if you look at his numbers by his standards, but was down far from the MVP year. And we forget too, Russell Westbrook missed almost a month since he broke his hand, and the Thunder got off to such a bad start, and they had to rally to make it to the playoffs, and they didn't make it. They were 8th seed. And they would have gotten blown out, but that was the first glimpse of the Thunder we got to see of what they were today. That was another warning sign. That could have been their year. That could have been their year, and it didn't happen. 15-16. Now, we all knew Durant was going to be a free agent. We all knew that. And what happened was Durant played much better. He played like MVP once again. Russell Westbrook was kind of half. If you look at what he was before 14-15 and what he is now, he was kind of half old Westbrook, but starting to get a lot of triple doubles. And it was clear. It looked like they're having chemistry problems. There were two ball-dominant players that Westbrook's like, oh, I want to get into those isolations like he does now. Durant's like, this is my team. And it was clear this was Durant's team. I mean, the facts clearly showed this year. But Westbrook wanted it to be his team. And it was clear it was Durant's team. And they were quite good that year. But they were only a 3 seed. They did not play to their potential. They were struggling. For one, the Warriors won 73 games that year. And then there was chemistry problems. They went through some losing streaks. Never anything serious, but they went through a bunch of 3-4 game losing streaks. And it was clear this is no longer their conference. It is clear this is no longer their conference. And those were some more and more warning signs. More and more warning signs that this might not last forever. This might not be what people hoped, what they hoped, what Thunder fans hoped for, what fans of the league hoped for. And of course they made it to the playoffs. And they're down 2-1 to the Spurs. A better Spurs team. And Durant took over game 4 and they won the series. So, they're in the conference finals. They're playing the Warriors. A great series. 2 heavyweights playing for the conference. And the Warriors were down 3-1. That's right. The Thunder won 3 of the first 4 games. And they have a chance to win the conference. They look like they're back. This looks like their future. This is it. This is it, man. This is it. And they lost game 5 in Oracle. Game 6 they should have won. But Klay Thompson went crazy. That's right. Klay Thompson went for 41 points. And then they lose game 7. And Durant's play went down. It was clear they were not the same. It was clear they were not the same team. And it was clear what is their future like. And we knew Durant would be a free agent back in 2014. We knew it. We thought at the time, oh, he's going to the Wizards. He might go to the Wizards. Who knows what's going to happen? Wizards or Thunder. The Warriors did not cross their mind in 2013. And think about it. In 2012, it's January 2012, or May 2011, and you ask Durant, hey Durant, think you'll ever play for the Warriors? Think you're going to join the Warriors? And Durant would have just said, why do you think I'd play for the Warriors? They're awful. And turns out, we'll get to that in a minute. Will Durant play for the Warriors? Well, okay, so as we're moving further along in the story, so it's now the May, early June 2016. They have just lost. Durant's going to be a free agent, and the Warriors come back from 3-1 to beat them. And some people were thinking, this is it. This is it. I mean, it's been 5 years now, and they have not been back to the finals. That was their best chance to get back to the finals. Just bad luck. It all happened. And what I thought is, okay, Durant's going to sign a 2-year deal, opt out after 1. Him and Westbrook will put 1 more year together, at least, to try to win a championship, to try to figure out maybe we can beat the Warriors. We're just going to go for it one more time, and they'll decide in 2017. So, that was a good year. So, do we want to both go to the Lakers? Do we want to go our separate ways and just say, you know what, the Thunder are no more? Do we want to stay together and try to win a championship together? I mean, that's probably been our dream for the past 6 years. And so Durant was visiting some teams and thinking about the scenarios. Do I want to go to the Clippers? I mean, he was definitely thinking of it. Chris Paul, Blake Griffin. Hey, we can beat the Warriors. We can contend for championships. Do I want to go back to the Thunder? Do what I've just been trying to do for the past, my whole career? Do I want to go to the Celtics? Boston's a great sports town. You think about all their history. They had Tom Brady on a recruiting trip. You think about all their history, right? The Patriots, the Red Sox, the Celtics, of course. Boston, one of the best sports towns in the country, and still is. It's been that way for years now. Does he want to be a Celtic? Represent the Celtics? 17 championships? And not only that, try to beat LeBron for the team of the East? And then, there came the Warriors. Pretty appealing, right? They just lost the finals. They blew a 3-1 lead in the finals themselves. And they just beat you. But no, you can't do that. You can't go to the team that just beat you. What if I want to? And it turns out, they said, okay, Kevin, we just lost in the finals. And that's since we had Harrison Barnes. No offense to Harrison Barnes, but his play definitely hurt our chances to win the finals. And hey, we would have had you, and we'd certainly like to have you. We're going to win the championship. We're going to win the championship. You know, you've waited your whole career for a championship. You've grinded out for the Thunder. You've watched them be terrible, and you've watched them be great. But bad luck happened, and you couldn't win a championship. Do you want to challenge LeBron just to get out of your own conference? Do you want to keep trying to beat us? Do you want to go back to OKC and keep doing it? Or you can come to us, and you don't have to beat LeBron in your own conference. You're going to win the conference. Now, we've been a great team. We've won a championship each of the past year. We almost won last year. But we have you now. Come on. What do you say? You want to win a championship, right? I mean, think about it. This could be the easiest championship ever. Let's do it. And he did. And Durant went to the Warriors. And there we have it. Kevin Durant is a Warrior. And he left behind Russell Westbrook, which at the beginning of the playoffs, you can go to the video. I put it out about 8 weeks ago. I was criticizing Durant, and I was praising Russell Westbrook, saying how great Westbrook is, how hard it is for him, how easy it is for Durant. And Russell Westbrook lost in the first round a long time ago. Kevin Durant, tonight, he can win a championship. Tonight could be the night for Kevin Durant to finally be an NBA champion after 10 years, And comparing to what he did in Oklahoma City, he has to fight really hard to score. He passes it to Westbrook. He's having a hard time. He doesn't get the ball in his hands all the time. There's one ball, but there's 2 players that really want the ball. We're in Golden State. He could play more freely. There's Steph Curry wide open. You know what? I'll pass it to him. I'm wide open. Okay, this is so easy. This is so much fun. This is so much funner than Oklahoma City. And Kevin Durant made the right decision, as much as people say, Oh, that was soft. That was a bad move. He made it so easy. He made the easiest path ever. I mean, come on. Some people would say that's almost like cheating, and at the beginning of the year, which is not cheating, but some people could think that, hey, you made it pretty easy on yourself, which, hey, he's just trying to win a championship. A championship's a championship. Michael Jordan's ring in 1991 is a championship. You're going to have the same feeling. Durant's not going to think, wow, that was so easy. Oh, I'm so glad I did this. Oh, I didn't do anything. And, of course, Durant will be finals MVP, so he did everything. Now, this is not Durant's team like the Cavs are LeBron's team. The Bulls are Jordan. The Lakers were Kobe's in 9 and 10. The Spurs were Duncan's team, or so on and so on. You can go on and on. But, look, it was a hard-fought ring. It was a hard-fought ring. And yes, the Warriors tonight could be 16-0 in the playoffs. Something that's never been done. Not the 72 Bulls. It took them 6 games to finally beat the Sonics. 72-win Bull team. Not even the Warriors last year. Are you kidding me? They're down 3-1 to the Thunder. And not the 08 Celtics. They're the best team in the league that year. They had to grind it out pretty hard in the playoffs. No team has ever been undefeated in the playoffs. Not even the 2013 Heat. The closest team was the 2001 Lakers. And that was not... So, this is just a very rare occurrence. And the Warriors, for the past 3 years, greatest regular season team, greatest postseason team. They've had the greatest era in NBA history. You can credit Bob Myers. You can credit the decision to hire Steve Kerr. That was a great coaching hiring. I'm sorry, Mark Jackson. I know you're fired by the team, and maybe you're just enjoying broadcasting, enjoying watching the greatness, but I've thought throughout the years, man, Mark Jackson has the worst luck ever for an announcer. And tonight, the Warriors could win that championship. I mean, Durant has waited 10 years. Well, think about it. Jordan waited 7. LeBron waited 9. And Jordan was 28 when he won his first championship. LeBron was 27. And Durant will be 28. Look, it takes time to win a title. It takes a lot of time. And here we are. So, Game 4 will be played tonight. A lot can happen. We'll watch and see. And in about 4 hours, we can know for sure that the Warriors are NBA champions. You know, it's been a long career for Durant. You know, his work ethic is just off the charts. I mean, come on. Great work ethic is right up there with James's, Jordan's, Kobe's. That's a generational talent. All those guys had something in common. A great work ethic. So, here we are. All those games. From playing when you're 4-29, hopeless seasons. Half-empty key arenas. Playing these games, probably not very good games that are where you're playing at 1 a.m. and no one's watching, to being finals MVP. You already have an MVP. Durant has always been second. Has always been second his whole career, except for 2014 when he won the MVP. I mean, think about it. Second overall pick. Second in MVP voting to James so many times. He might have had 4 MVPs if you take LeBron James out of the picture. Second in the conference to the Mavericks, to the Spurs, to the Warriors. Second in the finals to LeBron James. And a lot of his second has had to do to LeBron James. And now he has 1 MVP. He has a conference title. There's a few firsts. But now, the championship is the ultimate first. Think about how great Durant will finally feel. In 2007, when he came to the league, he had to wait 10 years from this. All the disappointments in 2013, 14, 12, 15, going through all that rehab to get the foot back, to play the game that you love. All that rehab. I mean, think about how painful that is. I've never experienced any injury that I had to do any rehab. Think about all that rehab. Think about losing that 3-1 lead. And then in March, when you're going through that rehab, being on the sidelines, Durant hates not playing. The disappointment that happened that night in Washington, that was supposed to be a great occasion. After all of that, going through this playoff runs, all the long plane flights, all the grind of the NBA, 10 years, you're willing to do all of that just to win a championship? That's how much this means to Kevin Durant. And tonight, Kevin Durant, after 10 years, can finally win a championship. Which Durant, he deserves it. I mean, I know he's on the Warriors, but Kevin Durant deserved this honor of being an NBA champion. So, let's talk about something else for a minute. Let's talk about LeBron James. So, LeBron, the reality for LeBron James is he could have to lose in the finals. This is his 8th finals appearance. He's 3-4. He may have to, the reality may sink in that he could lose 3 finals in 4 years. And not only that, but lose yet another finals. The pain of losing another finals. And he was lucky. If it weren't for Ray Allen, if it weren't for his great performance coming back from a 3-1, being down 3-1, if it weren't for that spectacular Game 6, LeBron, he could possibly not have a championship. I mean, his paths to the championship were very hard. Even in Miami, it was not easy. It was not easy winning that championship. Not as easy as it is for Durant right now. And let's ask the ultimate question. What if we were to come down from a 0-3 deficit? 0-3 deficit. One of the hardest accomplishments to do in sports. And when it was done in baseball and hockey. It's been done just one time in baseball. Baseball is a complete team game. Individualism is very limited. Same thing in hockey. Or in basketball, it can be the individual can determine the fate of a franchise. And if LeBron were to do this, this would be the greatest achievement in finals history. Yes. Playoff history? Yes. NBA history? Yes. Sports history? Yes. If LeBron were to pull it off, which I'm still hoping he does, and if he doesn't, I could not blame him. What he did last year was astronomical, was immaculate, was exceptional, was storied, historic, amazing. You can use 10,000 words. And what Durant or LeBron does this time could be times 10. I mean, think about it. Winning tonight, knowing you're down 0-3. Now, you're back where you were last year. Winning an Oracle once, winning back in Cleveland, and doing it again. Oh, and there's Kevin Durant. Added that, at each moment by 10, it would be an incredible performance. It would win LeBron James the Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year. No doubt about it. So what he has to do, I don't know. Has to completely shut down Kevin Durant. Okay. Then has to score about 30 points a game. Then has to get his teammates open. Has to shoot threes like they did against Atlanta for 4 games straight last year in the playoffs. And has to do something that incredible. I can't even imagine it. It's hard to imagine. It would be incredible. But let's face it. The Warriors are going to win. Whether it's tonight, whether it's Monday night, we'll see. But the Golden State Warriors will probably be champions tonight. You know, it's been an incredible NBA season. I've seen a lot. Really is. And next time we're on air, we could be talking about kind of the recap of the finals. And Durant finally as a champion. So, We've told you about Durant's career. We've told you about how great the Warriors are. I mean, think about it. Think about how fast they've played this series. And they're going to play fast tonight. There's no way to slow them down. So there you have it. My prediction is the Warriors win tonight. Durant is a champion after 10 years, and he's a finals MVP, and he finally throws the monkey off his back, all the way back to Oklahoma City, where the monkey is still very much there. So, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.